welcome to the Hallmark Kids podcast. This is such an exciting day. We have a double Hall Star interview for you today. So fun. We have the stars of the 27-hour day here with us. We have Autumn Reeser and Andrew Walker. It's huge. So thank you so much to both of you for coming on and talking with us today.
My pleasure.
Yes. So why don't you tell us a little bit, how have you been doing? It's been a while since we've had either of you on the show. So let's start with Autumn. How has your 2021 been going for you?
Well,
can we just really quickly, can we just say, Autumn, I didn't see you as clearly in the previous interview. Look at your glow. You got a 10. Autumn's been living the good life over there. Autumn,
thank you.
You were having fun
too. I saw you were in Palm Springs on social media and the pool. So yeah, so Andrew and I have both been soaking up the sun this summer. I'm super, Andrew and I, one of the things that we share is like our love of the outdoors. And I just got back from backpacking Catalina Island for a week. So I did the Trans Catalina Trail. And it was 38.5 miles and just camping on the beach at night. And it was absolutely spectacular. And like seeing nobody other than we saw some deer and some bison and that's about it. It was amazing. So trying to get in little journeys where I can, little ways of getting out of town. And I think like a lot of us were feeling more and more, not more and more, but quite isolated over the last year and a half. And so finding small ways to get outside and experience the expanse of the outdoors and being able to breathe has been really, really important to me, even when it's just small little things like a weekend camping trip.
Nice.
Do you know how the bison made it over to Catalina Island?
Somebody told me they came over on a movie.
Yeah, back in the 60s or something. It was like back in the late 60s. They brought over a small herd, and then now they just kept them there, and they've procreated. And now that's why they serve like bison burgers at every restaurant that you go to in Catalina Island, because they're trying to keep the population control. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there was a standoff on the trail. One came right up to us on the trail and was not moving, obviously, because I would say that he has the right of way. And we were like, what did we do? And so we kind of had to go like way, way off the trail until he was ready to go past. It was like a half-hour standoff. It was the most exciting thing that happened on the journey.
Great.
Sounds so fun.
Andrew, how's your 2021?
Man, my 2021 is it's going great. I'm just been really busy, and the kids are at a great age, but a very overwhelming age. Like our 1.5-year-old is a lot. It's good. Like I have a different relationship with patience, and it feels good. Like and I think that happens also with your second child. You realize that everything's fleeting and it's moving so fast. So these moments, they're just moments. They're just small moments that they will eventually come out of. So I'm taking the good with the bad. But yeah, I've just been doing I have a few projects outside of acting that I'm just kind of tampering with and trying to get off the ground, and it's been a good year. It's nice to have the first movie in 2021 be with you, and so I'm looking forward to what people have to say about it. But it's been going well.
Yeah, I think it has been nice this year for a lot of us to be able to travel a little bit more. It's just been a little bit compared to last year. It's like we built it all up, and then it's because I know I had a chance to go to Oceanside in July, and that was really fun.
Oh,
in
great.
California.
Love Oceanside.
It was really fun. I love being in the ocean. It's my favorite thing.
Beautiful. That's where I'm from.
Oh, really?
Yeah, from Oceanside.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Right. Yeah, it is Oceanside. Yeah, specifically.
Yeah, the ocean's beautiful. Yeah.
I really liked it. Well, tell us about this movie. You mentioned the 27-hour day. I have to say that title sounds really tiring.
It was actually the 26-hour day when we were developing it, and that was taken. So we are the 27-hour day. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about that. So
Please.
this is a movie. This is my first time executive producing. This is a movie that I've been trying to get made for the last like 3-4 years with my co-producer Linda Caroli, and was really, really grateful that Hallmark took a chance on this story. I really am excited for people to hear this story, to watch this story, because it's about a girl named Lauren Garrett who runs a blog, a brand really called the 27-hour day, that's all about maximizing your time and getting as much done in one day as you possibly can. She lives in New York. She lives the high stress, fast paced lifestyle, and she doesn't want anything outside of it. But she has a business meeting that goes awry and realizes she might need to change the way that she does things in life. And so she is invited to go on a week-long retreat in Montana, in which she ditches all of her tech. And there she meets handsome rancher Jack West, played by Andrew Walker, who was my #1 choice for this. And I feel so lucky that I got him to be in this movie. Thank you, Andrew. I think I love you playing Jack in this. I love the nurturing heart that this character has, and his love for the outdoors and for nature and for his family, his dedication to his family. I think you were the perfect person to play this part.
Thanks.
So you guys hadn't worked together before, right? Or had you?
This was our first movie together.
Yeah, we were trying to get a couple things off the ground actually in 2020, and yeah, it just never happened. But we met a few times. We'd gone for coffee with a few other people, and so it was nice to have that, breaking of the ice originally with, throughout, few meetings. But no, this is the first time we've actually worked together.
Cool. When I first heard this idea of this Zen wellness culture, I think that felt very LA to me. And since both of you live in LA area, I just wondered if that was part of the inspiration, if it felt like a natural fit to the story.
I think that it's kind of a, sorry to cut you off there, Autumn, but I feel like, it's interesting because people do deem health and wellness, or, these alternative ways of, alternative medicines, or ways of, of detoxing for the mind and body, it being an LA thing. But I think it's really becoming a new age thing where people are really starting to realize that this needs to go hand in hand with the balance of, of work, family, and really ultimately yourself. I mean, I think not in that order. I think you have to care for yourself first in order to care for your family, and also be able to be efficient at work. And I think we're all trying to find, and that's why, people's lifespans are getting, people are able to live much later in life now. There's this funny, I think it kind of went viral. There's a picture of Paul Rudd at the age that he's at right now, and another actor at Paul Rudd's same age. And to see the difference in their skin and the hair growth and like just everything, I think people are better versions of themselves, if you will, these days than we took care of ourselves back 30 years ago, 40 years ago. I mean, it was like smoking was the culture, heavy drinking. Now there's like ways to have a cocktail, but it's like hard kombucha, or there's, you can mix juice with like cold pressed juice with your cocktails, or you can have, and there's like non-sulfate wines and all this stuff. And there's also the knowledge we have of food nowadays, of where we source our food from, where we buy our food from, the story behind the food. So I think it's like, yeah, it's LA, because LA is the epicenter of all health and wellness related, products. And I think there's a lot of people here that, nutritionists and stuff like that. But I really think it's becoming a worldly thing now. Everyone knows about how they need to be taking care of themselves. And so, sorry, I know you were going to say something.
No, you're fine. But, do you agree, Autumn? So
yeah, and I really think that what we're exploring at this ranch in the story is really the idea of mindfulness, which is central to spiritual practices from all cultures. It's definitely not an LA thing. I agree with everything Andrew said, but I think it's not about the specific things that they do. They do painting, they go camping. It's not about that. It's about teaching people how to be mindful, how to be fully embodied and present in their life, which is the central core to so many spiritual practices throughout time. It's about being present in your life. And that is what the journey is that Lauren goes on, to stop thinking about the future, the next thing, to not be addicted to time in the way that our American culture is. We're very future focused. We're very linear. And this movie to me is more about the return to a more, if you will, divine feminine way of being, which is not as linear. It's a more embodied, fully formed presence within your life, regardless of what you're doing. You can do that with anything. You can do that with taking a bite of food. And so all the practices that they do at this ranch are just to allow the people to come into the present moment and to not be so addicted to the future.
yeah, and I think that's one thing that 2020 did, I think, give a lot of people, is that because people were working from home, maybe they had never worked from home before, or doing different arrangements than they'd done before. I think it kind of let people realize, oh, there's a different way I can live. I don't have to live the way that I was living. And I think that in a weird way has been a positive to a lot of people in their lives. And I mean, I was lucky because I've been able to work from home for so long. And so it's been a blessing in my life for a long time. But I don't know, I think that there was something to last year of just sort of not only in work, but just in so many ways that we're like, oh, there's a different way to do this. I could try it this way.
Yeah. What was something you decided to get rid of in your life? Like, to be like, oh, I don't need this anymore. I'm leaving this behind in 2020.
Well, I mean, like I said, I was kind of lucky because I was already working from home, so there wasn't that. But I think that like there were just certain things that were hard to lose, but also like it was interesting to kind of like, for instance, I was obviously sad to lose going to church, but I also like kind of figured out new ways to be spiritually fed at the same time. So there were sort of both, like I was still sad, but I did Sunday devotionals with my friend. And so that was something that I learned a new way and to feed myself spiritually. So that was positive.
Amazing.
That's something I could think of off the top of my head. What about you, Andrew? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think I decided to take on more around the house. I wasn't scared of taking on projects, whether it be minor electrical jobs or plumbing jobs around my house, or not having people come to the house. And I had more time to watch videos on YouTube, learn more about just being a little bit more of like a weekend warrior. As Autumn deemed me on the movie, she's like, you're like 3 days in, she goes, you're a homesteader. You're a homesteader. And I'm like, I guess I am. I guess I'll embrace that, because I do a lot of, I've always been good at doing outdoor work. I had a landscaping business when I was 14, 15, like from 14 years old till 18 years old. And my buddy and I that built it, we built it up to, we were doing like 200 lawns a week on our route. And we hired friends of ours to come in. So we did landscaping, we did gardening and rock gardens. We did a little bit of interlocking stone work and stuff. But so I do that around the house, but I started doing a little bit more interior stuff and taking on projects that I've always wanted to take on. So that's something that I started incorporating in my life, and also just spending more time with my 1.5-year-old. I traveled for 6 to 8 months with my first son, West, who's now 6. And so every time I'd come back, I'd have to win my way back into his into his life, or, and I'd go wake him up in the morning time, and he'd want mom all the time. So with my youngest, I really made it a point to like have him be with me, and just, I'd go to the bedroom and wake him up and spend time with him all day. So it was nice. It was really, it felt like very crucial time that I was spending with him. How about you, Autumn? What did you read back in 2020?
I felt really compelled before this to have meetings in person, and like, oh, I haven't seen that person in a while. I'm going to go to coffee. I'm going to go, grab lunch. And I don't want to bring those things back in. Like my meetings, my creative meetings, I have a bunch of different projects I'm developing. We do them all via Zoom right now, which saves, time, everybody's time. It keeps the traffic off the road. It is less impact on the earth. So keeping that efficiency, that like, if we don't need to be doing this in person, like let's just have a 15-minute phone call. And, that's made more time in my life for stuff that's more important at this phase in my life, like reading and my spiritual practice. I have a dedicated spiritual practice now of meditation and prayer that I didn't have fully in place before, because I was going to the external. Oh, I'm going to go to this meditation class. Oh, I'm going to go to this yoga class, as opposed to like choosing those things for myself and building those into my life myself. So more sort of ownership around my time, and more sacredness in my life in general. That is something that I am keeping, and really enjoying it from somebody who's, this is where I really relate to this story. Somebody who was so used to being on the go and busy and having that be part of my identity, to somebody who is very, I'm very specific with my time now and how I spend it. And that feels really good at this point in my life. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we also appreciate the time we are with other people more than we used to. I'm sure that will, I don't know how long that will last, that we'll do that, but like even just something like getting a hug, it just means more now than it used to. It's
Yeah.
like, oh.
Yeah.
but yeah, I was gonna ask you, Autumn, you had said in our last interview that you kind of had to learn to sort of let certain things go and not be, not as far as in work, and to just focus on your roles and what you're doing. And I was just wondering if this character that's kind of maybe starts out sort of a workaholic and then has to learn and grow, is that something you connected with?
Definitely. Yeah. I was very identified with being busy and having a lot of things in my life in my 20s, and I ran a blog called Move Lifestyle that was all about that, all about like maximizing your time and efficiency and quick packing and all of this. And what I've found is that when I am in alignment, now it's like all of that just kind of solves itself. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, I guess that's all
I just remember you saying that you used to be like trying to find out about how they do the lighting and doing the, all the different roles on the set and everything.
And what you're asking.
That you had to kind of learn to sort of let that go and let them do their things, that it was too overwhelming. So I was wondering if that was kind of,
it's a little different because I was also producing on this. So I did have different roles, and I did have to be like, wait, we need this blanket, and, I did have to wear more hats. And then I've been starting to direct as well. So I actually am paying more attention to different departments than I have, because I need to understand them more deeply.
Yeah. Well, and Andrew, you wear a lot of hats because you've got your juice company, you have your family, you have the acting roles that you do. And so that must have been something you connected with this role on, as far as the whole sort of work balance message.
Yeah, it's something that I've always wanted to realize my ability to finish things. And when I was younger, I feel like I struggled with that. I would start a lot of things and I wouldn't finish them. And Yeah, I mean, right now I have a building in Albuquerque, New Mexico that I'm turning into a post-production hub. I have a hair and makeup bus that I bought that I'm renting out in Albuquerque right now on projects. And so I'm constantly like trying to rent it, have different people rent it. We have our juice business. There's multiple facets of the juice business. I kind of take on a couple projects in the juice business where different line items, extensions of our current of our core products that I'm launching. So it's just like we have, I'm a landlord. I just feel like there's a lot of things that I've been doing right now and my acting is the primary, it's where my passion lies. And so that's my ultimate, goal is to continue to always act and to give my acting its attention that it deserves every time. Because acting is something you don't get, you never feel finished, it never feels finished. So that's something that I've realized now as I act. It's just, it's either I'm a little bit more proud of some work I do in this one and a little less proud of work I've done in another one. It's not like, oh, that's perfect. That's a perfect little, that's the I'm extremely satisfied. I can be satisfied, but I'm never that satisfied. I always feel like I could do more, with my acting. But all these other things, at least there is a goal in mind of like, I am getting a sense I'm feeling a little bit more just at ease with my ability to finish things now. And even though I've taken on a lot, for whatever reason, maybe it's just the time I'm at in my life now, but I feel very, very filled up, very just full of gratitude of these things that I have and also I don't feel too overwhelmed. I'm able to compartmentalize a lot of what I'm doing right now and just relying on people that I've partnered with that can help me move things forward. And so, yeah, it's to go back to the movie, I think, Jack has a bunch of things that he's taking on right now. He's working with investors and he's trying to upkeep the retreat, which is never ending. There's constantly things that need to be done, but he is relying on his team, which is his family, and to help, move things forward together. And so it is very, I was saying, I've said this to Autumn before, this Jack character is very similar to who I am as a person. And, and I feel like Jack is able to balance it all. So it's a constant, just work in progress, with myself and the character Jack, and just trying to move things forward and finish, so.
So Autumn, did you come up with the idea for the story and then you worked with Audrey, or how did that work?
So Linda Caroli, who's my co-producer on this, brought me a script by Deborah Jones, and it was really, really different than what we have now, but they had the bones of it there. And so we all made some adjustments, took it in and pitched it, and Hallmark bought it, and then we went through 3 years of script changes, and we brought Audrey on, who's so wonderful and so lovely and brought so much to it. And yeah, we developed it with Jessica Callahan at Hallmark for like the last 3 years, and until we got it to this place where we could shoot it 2 months ago. It was a really fascinating, really, really satisfying creative process. And that's something that I've been getting more involved in, now that I've been in the industry for over 20 years and wanting to be more a part of the generative creative process from the beginning. Yeah.
That's cool. That's great. So Andrew, do you feel like shooting with the COVID protocols has become kind of the new normal? Are you sort of used to it, or what's that? Is it still sort of weird?
I think it's always going to be a little weird, but I'm more used to it now than what I was on the first project I did, which was Christmas Tree Lane. It was the first project back that I did a year, back July.
That was one of the first projects back, like, period, of any film, right?
Period, any film. Yeah. And I caught myself a couple times going, is this okay? Is that, do I need a mask here? But now you just, a lot of the protocols have been set forth now by SAG, by Hallmark, by the producers you work with on those specific projects. And there's more people put in place to help manage that, the COVID, the protocols on set. So there's more reminding, there's more people going, tapping on the shoulder going, hey, just by the way, can you put your mask on here? So I feel like that's becoming, that helps a lot, because I do tend to, I'm caught up in the film, or I'm caught up in a scene, or I'm just, running lines in a place that I should be back in my chair somewhere. So it's just, I'm just, I'm learning, like everyone else. And, but it's becoming more normal, but I don't think it'll ever be a normal that I'll get used to.
Yeah. You agree, Autumn?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. Very good. Where was this filmed in? Was this in Vancouver?
It's 2 hours outside of Vancouver in Agassiz.
It looks beautiful. It's a beautiful place.
Gorgeous. Yeah. Have you seen the movie?
Yeah. I haven't seen this one yet.
So I'm so excited for people to see these sets. The backdrops on all the places we've shot were just gorgeous. We had in Agassiz, Harrison Hot Springs is the area, and then just outside of Vancouver, we shot in not Coquitlam, but
Are we in Chilliwack?
That rings a bell. But there was one scene where the campground, you'll see it, guys, on the day, but there's a campground scene where we hike for the day, and then we camp that night. We're around a fire. We were looking at over the Golden Ears, is what it's called, in Vancouver. And it's a beautiful mountain range, but just beautiful settings.
Cool. Great. So it seems like a really fun cast in the movie, with Jeff Gustafson and Karen Holness and a whole bunch of really fun people. That it must have been a fun group to work with.
We had amazing actors on this. Like, this was one of my favorite groups of actors I have ever worked with. Just the level of joy and positivity and gratitude and presence that every single one of those actors brought. It was a joy. It really was. Sometimes you get on one of these movies and there's this touch of magic to it, and it's just easy. And that's how it was with these actors every day. It was just easy. There was no drama. Everyone was happy to be there. It was really truly a gift to get to come to set with all these people today.
I've worked with Karen and Jeff on previous movies, and it was like an all-star cast all coming together. Yeah. And I think we were just like shot at the perfect time when people were, they weren't working. There was no conflicts. And it was like Autumn says, it was just we all felt very lucky that we were working together.
Cool. Had either of you worked with David Winning before as the director?
Andrew has, right?
Yeah. Had you?
Well, I have. We worked together, and it was kind of like two ships in the night, but it was my first acting gig on a show called Are You Afraid of the Dark? And David Winning had done a few episodes of that series, and I was 13 or 14 years old when I did that show. He was also possibly going to direct a movie I shot in the Yukon called The Mountie. Well, The Way of the West in the US, but it's called The Mountie in Canada. So yeah,
Did he remember you from when you were a teenager?
He did. Yeah, he sent me a couple of videos. He actually, I think he sent them to Autumn too. But he was like, "Yeah, this is Andrew at 14 years old." And I was like, "David, that's in the vault, man. That's in the vault. You can't."
And Andrew and I figured out that we had actually worked together before, 2 decades ago, on a show called Maybe It's Me.
It's Me.
Oh, Andrew was a series regular on, and I had two tiny, I was guest starring. I had maybe 5 lines in 2 episodes. And so we didn't even remember, but then we started putting the pieces back together, and I was like, oh my gosh, what a small world.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
Because he's done so many Hallmark movies that it seems like it would eventually that he'd direct one with both of you in it.
I know. Well,
That's cool.
cross it off his list now.
There you go. Well, I'm really looking forward to the film. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's amazing the turnaround that they're able to have on these. You said it was just shot 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
We'd like to take a second from this episode of the podcast to celebrate our sponsor of this episode, and that is the Hallmarkies Patreon.
Do you love Hallmarkies podcast?
Do you want an inside scoop into what happens on the podcast?
Do you want early access to episodes and loads of cool perks?
Now is the time to become a patron of Hallmarkies podcast.
By becoming a patron, you get to access our patron Facebook group.
You can request episodes or even be a guest on the podcast.
And most importantly, any patron can join our monthly movie watch-alongs with stars like Paul Campbell, Natalie Hall, and more.
It's as low as $2 a month to join in and become a special part of the Hallmarkies family.
Please consider, and we will love you forever.
Go to patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
That's patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
Either of you, are you allowed to say if you're working on anything for Christmas or anything like that?
I have a series of movies coming out next year with Lacey Chabert and Ellie Sweeney. It's a trilogy, but it's of best friends that centers around a mysterious wedding veil. So that will come out next year.
Ooh, that's gonna be really fun. Is it? That'll be on Movies and Mysteries probably then, sounds like.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Interesting. That'll be great.
I'm moving in 2 weeks to do a Christmas movie.
Yay. Who's it with? Can you say?
I think I can. Yeah, she's on Friday Night Lights. Her name is Amy Teagarden.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
When I see pictures of her, I'm like, am I robbing the cradle in this though? Because she's so on Friday Night Lights. She was like 16.
I know she was so young in that.
Yeah,
She's
but
older
now
she's older.
I know. Now she's older. Like, okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, and I was talking to somebody the other day, and they're like, oh, Angie, but you're aging so well. And I said, well, the minute that I'm on camera with Amy, you're going to see that I haven't been aging very well. It's going to be the first time we're actually going to go, oh, Andrew's aged. Wow.
Well,
So that'd be a good thing or bad thing.
we like to end with our kind of fun, silly questions, and you both have probably had these before, so bear with me. But I figure it's been a while. Why not do them again? And it'd be fun to see your answers together. So, all right. First question is, what is the best ice cream flavor?
Oh, geez. I'm so bad at these. Go ahead, Andrew.
Yeah.
There was an ice cream flavor, world-class chocolate at Baskin Robbins it was marshmallow and chocolate and caramel that I used to love.
Ooh, that sounds good.
I don't know. I like the ice creams where they have like a vanilla base and then all sorts of like chunky stuff in it. Whatever.
Very good. Okay. What is your favorite color?
All of them. I'm so bad at these. Sorry.
Yeah, purple. I like
Well,
purple.
that's my favorite. Very good.
Aww.
All right. What music are you into right now?
Yeah, this is a difficult. I'm into so much. I'll play jazz, I'll play classics, I'll play around the house. But I think my music I always go back to is electronic, instrumental electronic music.
Yeah.
I like
We
a
have
band
to
called.
do in another music video after Snowed In.
I know.
That was so good. I loved it so
Yeah,
much.
I would love that.
What about you, Autumn? Do you have a favorite music?
I really, right now, I'm really liking an artist called, I don't know if I'm going to say her name right, but Aisha Badru. I really
Okay.
like her right now.
Cool. All right. We used to say, what is your go-to date night food? But since we're only ordering in these days, what would be your DoorDash order or Grubhub
Sushi.
or whatever you might be? Sushi.
Sushi.
All right, very good. Okay. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Both. Can I pick both? I don't know. I'm allergic to cats, so I'll pick dogs.
Dogs. Okay.
Yeah, I'm allergic to cats too.
Beaches or mountains?
Beaches or mountains? I pick both.
Yeah. You were in the mountains in your movie, so I don't know if that.
Mountains for me.
Mountains. Okay. Would you, what's your favorite holiday? Celebrate.
Christmas.
I don't have one.
Okay. And last question, and you can pick one of your own. What is your favorite Hallmark or romantic movie?
27-hour day.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes. Oh gosh, that I do. You know what? I just rewatched Amelie, and it's such a beautiful, quirky, unique love story. So today I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah. Have you seen that, Andrew? You
I
should
have
watch
not.
it because it's in French. So you
Yeah, I should
double like
watch
it because you speak French. So, well, very good. Thank you so much, both of you, for coming on. This was so much fun. I had a great time, and we can't wait for the movie. And do you have social media or anything like that you want to share?
Yes, I'm gonna post stuff on Instagram. I'm at Autumn Reeser.
And Andrew?
Yes, and I'm at a walk with 2 Ks 35.
Right.
And actually, I'm doing we're doing a giveaway for the movie. I'm getting together with a whole bunch of brands that I've loved and that we've worked with in the past and stuff. And they're going to give a viewer, we're going to give away a big basket full of stuff, like a yoga mat, a bunch of juice, LaCroix, like a bunch of stuff. So stay tuned. I'm gonna be posting a lot more about it on my social media and like what it entails. So
cool. That's
awesome.
That's on your Instagram. Okay, great. Yeah, we'll put all the information for that. People can make sure to follow you and you both. And congratulations on the movie. And we look forward to seeing what you're coming out with next. And thanks again. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Bye.
We did it. We'd like to thank Autumn and Andrew for coming on the podcast. That was so much fun to get to chat with them. And make sure you're following the podcast at Hallmarkies Pod and Hallmarkies Podcast, all over social media. And if you're listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. And make sure to follow me at Rachel's Reviews, all over social media. And if you are listening on YouTube, if you are watching on YouTube, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. We also have our Patreon group and merch store, which we really appreciate that support. And thanks so much, everybody. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye.